Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and this is a new budget knife company I've never tried before. I guess XTOUC or maybe XTOUC. They're button lock. There's really no name. Kind of a downside is that I don't know the actual name of it. But anyways, it's a new company, and you see a lot of these type of companies on Amazon. But I gotta say, it's a pretty good knife considering 14C 28M blade steel. And, typically with some of these, off-brand companies, you're usually worried about the heat treat on the steel. But in this case, 14C 28N is such an easy steel for companies to heat treat that it's probably at least decent quality. So we have 14C 28N, drop point blade, beautiful swedge, bead blasted finish, G10 scales with steel liners, and a deep carry, not reversible clip. You see we have the button lock. You can feel it. I can feel it's on ball bearing action. I'm not sure if it's ceramic or steel, but I can definitely tell it is bearings. So the detent is pretty solid. The action's really good. Flipper tab works great. No problems with the flipper tab. The thumb studs, they work great, especially the reverse flick. I can get right behind it and pop it out. The tension from the detent, or acts as the detent, is good. Lockup is rock solid. I have checked it from spine whacking, and it's held up just fine. Now, the thumb flick on the thumb stud, I'm not a big fan of these types of thumb studs just because there's no texturing or anything. They're just kind of smooth and have a corner. So they work just fine, but I prefer an edge or an angle around there and then maybe some texturing, like how typical thumb studs are, more so than just a hump. But it works good, and it's not that uncomfortable, and it might be just something I need to get used to. It is comfortable, however, in the hand. I do feel the clip, but it's not a super hot spot or anything. I'm just aware of it, but I can tell I can really bear down on this. I could definitely use this in many grips if I need to, and it's a pretty good quality. It's actually surprisingly pretty good. Couple negative things though. One, T6s. I hate T6s. I'd rather just see T8s. Even on budget knives, I just think T8s is the way to go because, if I need to take this apart or maintenance it, I don't want to have to worry about messing up my the T6s in there. Now, next, because they strip out very easily. Next is the sharpening tool and plunge grind. This is a horrible plunge grind. You can see where it starts. You can see where it ends. It basically hits the edge, which makes it to where if I sharpen this, it will create a smile. Is it that big of a deal? Not really, because it's a budget knife, and it's a very affordable knife, and it's not something you're going to be crying about if you get a smile, but basically a smile is when you've sharpened your edge and it sharpens into the plunge grind, and it basically makes it look like there's a damaged area back here. But, on something like this, it's not that big of a deal. So the next negative thing would be, the button screws on the clip. I'd prefer it to be flat screws. Now, it's hard for me to argue about that because it is such a budget knife, but it's also an easy thing to fix. They did make it an inset clip, which is cool. So if you're going to make it inset, make sure you have flat screws as well so that it doesn't defeat the purpose. But yeah, so the thumb studs are a little slick, and the clip screws, and then the sharpening tool and plunge grind and T6s all would be negative things, but it's such a budget knife that those are very much nitpicks. It's a good knife, solid knife, very fidgety. The action's amazing. It has a good sound to it. Nice, strong lockup. Feels very solid. So I got to give it credit. It's pretty good. So there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.